Good morning, humanity. It's January 27th, 2020, and this is our favorite time of the week, and we hope it's yours because it is Mondays with Bev and Paul. And hi, everybody. My name is Paul.
Are you sure? Good morning. This is Bev.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to make sure that it's going live, but it looks like it is. So we are all with
Okay.
you here today, and we have a great show today. Well, we have a great show every Monday. At least I
Yeah.
think so.
Yep. Me too.
And Bev, I hear it's getting pretty cold out there in the Jacksonville, Medford, Oregon area.
It's winter here.
It's winter there.
I'm in the
It
great Northwest. It's
It's
winter.
it's winter here too. Actually, it's
Yeah.
72 degrees. It's funny. My
Oh,
brother just came from Hawaii. I'm going to meet him this afternoon, and he's freezing his butt off, even at
ooh.
72 degrees.
We're such wussies.
So we wouldn't make it there, and he can't make it here. God forbid he should go to Medford, which is funny because his daughter actually tried to go to college in Ashland, and
Oh, that's a beautiful little
yeah,
university.
but she didn't last a year.
Oh, okay. Well, she tried.
Yep, she did. So, all right. So let's see. We have our great question today. I'm sort of scattered. I'm trying to make sure this thing's working. And if you're
Uh-huh.
on there, let us know. Say I'm here because I can't. It says we're live, but who can
Never
tell with
know.
this setup? Anyhow, I know we have the mic on, and we're going for it here. So our show today: Can biotouch help with alcohol addictions? And we're going to talk about that because we just had a nice workshop about that. If you haven't seen it,
Yeah.
check it out on our YouTube and our homepage. So, but we want to talk about a couple of things that happened since our workshop, which was Thursday. We had a class this weekend, and lo and behold, look at all those people in the class.
Wonderful. That's
Yeah,
great.
there were like 14, 15 people. I can't remember anymore.
15, I think Cheryl said.
Yeah, and well, that includes the instructor, Cheryl. She's over there on the far left. She's an instructor that came back into the fold, and I told her, I said, "Well, it's your energy that created all these people to show up." And she's
Right.
holding a woman there who has cerebral palsy, is in wheelchair bound, and can't really move or talk. So she had a really good time just listening to the presentation. She would laugh, and we'll talk a little about her experiences. But we had some doulas there, we had some nurses, we had some massage therapists, and
Wonderful.
I just had a couple of little testimonials. One woman says, listening how others have benefited by BioTouch has been an emotional time for me. It has brought me to tears of joy. I'm so excited to begin to help others.
Wow.
I mean, and she did. She just started crying when she was sharing her testimonials and her feeling of what was going on, and hearing people's
Oh,
stories. Like, for example, the woman with cerebral palsy, her nurse or caregiver, which is right next to her, said that she's been on oxygen for in the evenings for the past couple months. And the first day after the class that evening, because Sadie would get worked on, she didn't have to
hmm
use the oxygen. Now, the very
that's
first night, just with getting a couple of sets of points. I mean, that's like incredible.
well, we still kind of are in awe when we hear those things, aren't we?
Yeah. And so then we had another testimonial from one of the people in the class who's actually gotten a few sessions. The class was easy and fun. It's the only class I've ever taken where you can heal as you grow. I can see the huge difference I can make in my immediate and extended family and beyond. I mean,
Wow.
that's what it's about. You
Yeah.
heal while you grow. You
Yeah.
and we had another couple there. Actually, a woman took the class. She has a lot of personal issues. She's a massage therapist, and her husband showed up for part of the class to pick her up to go to lunch. And they went to lunch. He just says, "Oh God, I've just got this terrible headache. I've had it all morning." And she said, "Well, let me try some stuff I learned today." And the headache immediately went away.
No way.
And 3 hours later, by the end of the class, he was telling us it was still gone.
Wow. Okay.
So, it's even in that first class, where we tell people you're going to be effective immediately. It happens,
It
and as they're
happens.
working on each other, even though it's a very scattered kind of an environment because everybody's trying to learn everything, they still have results with one another. It's incredible.
I know. Well, as we were talking earlier, and we say to them, this weekend you've received BioTouch and you've given BioTouch. It's not just a classroom environment where you just, we get up there and we teach them the points on the mannequin. You actually go into these session rooms and you are practicing BioTouch with each other. So once you do that, you're receiving and giving. It's a kind of a completely different. So people always tell us they have these experiences during those 2 days. I slept better, or my gosh, my headache went away, or my husband. So this is kind of like maybe part of that uniqueness that we talk about with BioTouch in the learning itself. It's immediate results.
Right, and a lot of people said that in their testimonials. It was like the experience of and the caring for one another and the comfortableness of it and the fun of it. I mean, people have fun. We laugh and
Right.
it's not about seriousness and having to focus and center yourself. You can just be yakking away and telling story and still learning the points. And we had a couple there, a woman hauled her husband there, and he was just doing great with it. I mean, not very often you get a couple showing up, and it was just really a fun class. So we hope that you'll want to learn BioTouch. Our next class is going to be in the evening classes if you're here in Tucson, and those are fun. They're just 3 hours, 3 times. Also, Bev's going to be doing some classes up there in Oregon real soon, and some presentations. And you can always learn it online. We do one-on-one with you. We do some written material. We do some Zooming with you, and we check your points. And we've had lots of people learn it online and still be just as effective as if they were standing here with us. This is a very simple technique to do, folks. Go to justtouch.com. It's just all right there.
It's right there.
It's right there. So we had our workshop, which was on alcohol addiction. And Liana Joy gave us a presentation. She is an addiction trauma specialist, works here in Tucson, and she gave a really nice presentation. She was very concise with what she was talking about and talked about alcohol addictions and really all addictions based on trauma. She's a trauma specialist, and she talked again about the trauma. And how many times have we heard about what happens to the brain due to trauma?
Yeah, right.
So,
Well,
yeah.
no, I was just going to say, and as we know, trauma manifests in different parts of ourselves. Emotionally, it's mental, it's physical. It shows up in all of these areas. And what's interesting is sometimes we're not even aware of where that trauma comes from. It's like these hidden parts of ourselves. And I think that's what's so powerful about BioTouch. It starts in the body, but eventually it seeks out and it brings out these beginning places. And what does the body want to do? It wants to be whole. It wants to
Right,
be
and
balanced.
that's what she talked about in relation to trauma. How those could be DNA, could be genetics,
Right.
it could be abuse when you were an infant, even, and you can't recall it consciously. It could be even an accident that you've had. A car accident even creates trauma in the body. She actually talked about Peter Levine, who works a lot with the body mind trauma, how it starts in the brain. And the interesting thing she talked about was these parts of the brain that disconnect from each other. And we've heard that from Jenny in her talk on trauma, that the frontal lobe and the back lobe don't communicate any longer. And then Liana was talking about the left and the right hemispheres don't connect. Right. And so we don't know what's good and what's bad. We don't know who we are in time and space. And so nothing's connecting. And so that's where we create an addiction to cover up the missing links in our life.
Yeah,
And
to deal with the pain
right,
and the fact that, as you said, what's going on here?
we
You know,
encourage you. We encourage you all to listen to that video
yeah.
about Liana. It's even just the first 20 minutes. It's on our website. If you pull down the health conditions at the top of the website and just pull up alcohol addictions, it's right there. You can also go to our YouTube site, BioTouch Healing, and just listen to that. And then if you want to learn the points, we give them to you right there. But it was just amazing to hear how she then moved into how important touch was
Mm.
to the healing of addictions and trauma.
Well, I think what happens in much time, as we know, when you're in pain and suffering, you tend to isolate because you're trying to deal with pain, however that turns out to be, whatever those addictions are. And I think that just leads to an isolation, a separating ourselves from those. And when we come back into that essence of that touch, another human being touching another and caring, that is powerful. It breaks through some of those long held isolated thoughts and feelings and, physical distancing ourselves. So part of this whole thing is that, and why I love BioTouch is, we've said it many times, it helps us to remember who we truly are. And that's what I think, that's a foundation much of the time. We look for things outside of ourselves to help us, forgetting that everything's already within us, that loving, nurturing, powerful essence within ourselves is already there. So BioTouch helps to begin the process of remembering all of that.
Yeah, and let's read to folks from our preface, because when she talked about the disconnect and how when one part gets whacked out, another part gets whacked out, and we actually have that in our preface, and Bev's going to read that to us right now from our manual.
Yes.
There's our manual right there, a little photograph of it. You can get that manual. Just order it online, or you can get the whole ebook version just by becoming a member, and just go to justtouch.com, and all of this can be sent right to your computer or your phone. So this is out of
Yeah.
the preface,
Quite
folks.
easy. It is. And a short little paragraph: any aspect of the body, when out of harmony, manifests a characteristic disorder, which in turn involves other parts of the body that are dependent on its proper functioning. Thus arises the need for a system that addresses the body and possesses the capacity to encourage it toward healing itself and restoring harmony. This is the purpose of the procedures presented in this manual. Well, there you go.
There you go.
It promotes the body to come back into its harmony, its wholesomeness, its balance, whatever word you want to
Right.
use.
Yeah.
That's what it
And
does.
that's the whole purpose, folks. There is no other purpose, because we do not teach people how to diagnose or recommend. We, by doing BioTouch, which encourages people to grow in their own self awareness, people will figure it out. They'll find what they need. They'll change their dietary habits automatically. They won't even know they're doing it, because the body will start finding ways to heal, and the mind will find ways to heal, and the emotions will heal, just by doing the touch and leaving people alone, leaving people to their integrity. I don't think we have healing techniques out there that allow people to live in their own integrity, their own holism.
Well, that's the magic, isn't it? Because that's what we're all capable of. When we talk about the innate sense of that power within each of us to heal, we that's part of the not remembering.
Right.
We've all given that to other people. for a very long time. So BioTouch is such an incredible gift to help us take back our our wholeness.
Take back our
You know?
wholeness, right?
Yeah,
That we never lost.
that we never lost in the first place.
And so it was interesting when we talked about the whole idea of working with addictions. And the thing that came up in the class all the time was, well, how often should you do this? And it's sort of like, if you work with alcohol addiction and you just did what we're going to teach you here, just the poison set, or maybe just the headset, you're talking about maybe having to take a full minute out of your life.
Yeah.
And what's a minute every day when you're dealing with addictions, especially to start the day with something like BioTouch and maybe try to end the day with a BioTouch? 2 minutes out of your day. It's just amazing the results that you'll be able to see. And repetition's the key. Like we kept saying, we're not faith healers. We don't slap you on the forehead and you fall over and stand up and go healed, So that's why we always want to teach this to people. So let's teach something here to folks. We're going to teach you today about the poison set. It'll be wrapped up also with allergy and infection, but check it out.
The infection, allergy, and poison sets are 3 separate sets of points. They all share the same hold point, which is the same as greeting point 1, located in the fleshy area just below the base of the breastbone. As with all sets of points, these may be touched repeatedly. Infections of any kind anywhere in the body may be addressed by holding X and with the other hand touching point 1, which is at the base of the large muscle on the right side of the neck and slightly above and behind metabolism point 1. Allergies or allergic reactions may be addressed by holding X and with the other hand touching point 2, which is on the right side of the neck directly behind metabolism point 3 on the top of the large muscle. To address poisoning within the body, hold X and with the other hand alternately touch point 1 and point 2.
That's it, just point 1 and point 2. It doesn't get any easier than that. That'll help
We know
flush
how
the body.
effective it is.
Yeah, that'll help flush the body out of those poisons from the alcohol or the opiates or any of these other things. The interesting thing was she said alcohol addiction is much bigger than even the opiate addiction, but we don't want to talk about it. Yeah, it was a very interesting comment that she made. So, well, we do know we have people here with us, Bev. We have Horace who's with us. He says, I'm watching live. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Horace.
And Jean Jackson, who couldn't finish the classes yesterday, but we look forward to seeing you, Jean, at some point. We can even walk you through the rest of the points privately. So yeah, it's we hope that you'll use BioTouch for your alcohol addictions, your friends, your families. You can teach it now to other people, and that we just gave it to you. Pass it on to somebody else. And get ready for our next workshop, because that is going to be on bronchitis and pneumonia.
Yeah.
And we have a very interesting guest speaker this time, Dr. Willingmeyer. I think her name is Laura Sandra Willingmeyer. But she's actually a internist and geriatric doctor.
Right.
And works at the VA here in Tucson. And we are really blessed to have someone with, she's been practicing medicine for 40 years.
Wow.
So this is just going to be
That's going to be a good one.
Awesome. Awesome. I mean, we are really blessed to be getting very professional people in the field to come share their expertise with us as we teach BioTouch. So that's bronchitis and pneumonia, February 27th. We'll continually remind you, if you want to be on our email list to get all this information, just go to justtouch.com and click on that little link there that says get the free 10 pages of the manual, and just give us your email, and you'll be able to get all of the information about everything we do at BioTouch, and we do a lot.
and getting more a lot.
And more a lot. And we just did 20 minutes worth of sharing with you how to get involved in BioTouch. And Horace, this song is for you. Horace wrote this song for us, and we're glad you're here live with us, and we're going to play a little bit of this song. And thank you, Horace, for it. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. And Bev, thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
If pain has got you down and you live in town, take a trip down to Pima Street. The people down there are people who care. They will get you back on your feet. Put love into action. Put love into action. If you ever want to have any real satisfaction, choose love while you still can. Don't even try to understand the healing grace in your own hands. Put love into action.